Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an episode of Career Mode. Now I just want to say a huge thank you for the support on the last video. It hit like 4,000 likes by now, which is just absolutely incredible. And I did say if it hit 3,000 likes, I would upload another one. And unfortunately, it hit 3,000 likes really late at night, and I figured it would be kind of pointless uploading too late. Although I have done it in the past, I figured I'll just upload two today, and that way everyone can watch both of them in their own time. So there's going to be two Career Mode videos today, and I'm actually doing a lot of packing. As you guys know, I'm packing up to go down south, down to the London area, and we've just been told that we might not have internet for the first little while, which will be absolutely devastating, but hopefully we can get that all sorted so I can get you guys some Career Mode goodness. But anyways, like I was saying, a game against Southampton. Southampton was a team that I really took a look at. Did I want to join them? They were a team, Gaston Ramirez, as you guys can see, for some reason, he actually scored a header against my centre-back. I'm not entirely sure how exactly that works, but Southampton were playing so well. They were playing really good passing. I just couldn't get a touch on the ball. Everything just seemed to go against me, and it was one of those games where you just couldn't do anything. I mean, these passes they were getting out, he was bullying over my centre-backs like that. I think that was Agger that he just shrugged off. Like, how the hell does that work? I'm not entirely sure, but that's the way it worked out, and unfortunately, things just weren't meant to be. And late into the game, I was already 2-0 down, and feeling a little bit down about things. I didn't want to lose 2-0 to Southampton, especially at home, but they were just playing out their skin, and like I said, everything was going their way. Deflections, but like I said, pushing over my centre back, and it just wasn't working out well at all. So as you can see, a really poor performance from the team. In fact, Akinfeev ended up getting the best score on the side, and that's when things aren't going too well. I'm really not entirely convinced on Akinfeev. A lot of people said though that they like my idea of having Luke Shaw in the side, and they like the idea of me using him as a new left back because they think he'd be really good, he'd develop well. So I'm excited to see how that goes. We're not too far away from the January transfer window, so I'm gonna have to make some really key decisions. There were a few other shouts for a few other left backs as well. I'm gonna have to take a look at those chaps and see what the McDeal is. But I had a game against Spurs, and if you're watching this on the, let me check what date it is, on the 3rd, then we all know that Spurs are actually playing Arsenal today in a North London derby. And I was actually at the Arsenal-Spurs game not too long ago because of the dream draw thing. If you guys have been watching my pack showdown, you may have seen that I'm advertising a sort of a dream draw thing, where if you buy packs, you're in with a chance to go to, one of these big games that you can attend. And one of those games was this North London derby. They took me to an executive box on my 18th birthday to go watch Arsenal versus Spurs at the Emirates Stadium, and unfortunately Adebayor was sent off really early on, and I think the final score was actually 5-2, and it was an absolute battering. But what a game it was to go to. It was a fantastic atmosphere. I know Emirates isn't exactly renowned for its amazing atmosphere, but that game, it really was impressive, and a great game to go to. So I really hope today's game is just as good. This might be uploaded afterwards, so feel free to trash talk each other in the comments, but don't get too harsh. But as you guys may have not seen recently, I'm really trying to get into this press conference thing. After I heard about what happens when you praise players and things like that, I definitely want to get more involved. And I had a game against West Ham here. Talk about London teams. I had a game against West Ham, and as you can see, Pan praises Sturridge because Sturridge is literally on fire. He is doing a great job at the club at the moment, and he is scoring goals left, right, and center. So a game against West Ham, it was really a must-win. We need to start banging these 3 points away, and we need to start climbing our way up the ladder. At the moment, I think we're very much mid-table. We're not having a terrible time, but we're not doing as well as I would have liked. When I come into a club, I understand the first season can always be a bit of a rough season. You're trying to figure out where your strengths, where your weaknesses are, who you're good against, who's going to be the team to beat, that sort of thing. Who are the teams that you really can't compete against, those sort of things. So when I had that in mind, I wasn't expecting to do that well, but what in the actual fuck sort of cross with that? That was like an amazing sort of bend in, bend out sort of curve. It reminds me a lot of Roberto Carlos, I think was his name, his free kick, where it literally curves the absolute opposite way, and it just looks fantastic. But my man Sturridge there bullies the defender, and on his right foot, which I might add is his weak foot, and he manages to put that into the near post. And we all know how lovely near post goals are. But Akinfeev there picking up a 9.0 rating and man of the match. I don't know how he gets these really good ratings. A lot of people like how you always, say bad things about Akinfeev, but he always seems to get these really good ratings and man of the match. And honestly, guys, I have no idea how that works. I really, really don't. But sometimes FIFA will just rate things really randomly. Like, for example, one player will play terrible. I'm like, you're trash and stuff. And then he'll come out 9.6 rating. You're like, How the hell did that happen? Like, that doesn't even make sense. He played terrible. So I took out President Obama this time around. I decided to swap in Barini because Barini really is a player that I think has quite a bit of potential in him, but most importantly, I want him to get some game time. I don't want him to get upset by being on the bench too much, and I feel as though he's actually a decent replacement. Well, not a replacement, but a substitute, I suppose, because Aubameyang there, a little bit low on fitness, nothing too dangerous to the point where he might pick up an injury, unlike Coutinho there, who's actually on a yellow bar. So whenever I see a yellow bar, that's pretty much flashing light saying you must sub him out, otherwise he has a high chance of injury. And speaking of injuries, big Stevie G holding on to his elbow there. That looks pretty rough, and I'd love it if they had better a better injury, you know. As you can see, he got a broken elbow. I just wish FIFA could show like a bone sticking out or just something like his elbow all messed up. I don't know, I just think that would be so much cooler. It would add so much more realism to it all. Another player on the ground, but fortunately he manages to get up. I think that was actually Sturridge rolling around on the ground, and as you can see, he gets back up just in time to bury that one home. That was really lucky there. On his strong foot, his left foot. I'm pretty sure he's left-footed because I tend to always play, you know, if you're left-footed, I'll tend to play them on the right-hand side so they can cut in. But like I was saying, I just love it if the injuries were just a little bit more realistic in the sense that, you know, if they have a broken leg, you know, they just have this horrible gash, maybe a bit of blood or just something epic. But I suppose that would really take away from the whole PG rated 3 sort of thing. I guess that would turn it into more of a 15 or a 12 or something along those lines. But I really think they should make a version like that, you know, have two different versions, have a bit more of a graphic version and have a bit more of a child-friendly one, the under 10 version. 22 goals, all competitions. Like I said, Sturridge is just flying, you know, he's doing a great job of it at the moment, just tearing things up. I mean, 22 goals across all competitions is good, but he can honestly do better, and that just shows his pace. He fires past the defender there, and he sinks that home again into the bottom left-hand side to make it 23 goals. And there it is, 3-1 over Leverkusen in the EuroLeague. And Leverkusen, I think they're a really good team. You know, they have some solid players. I believe their goalkeeper is a goalkeeper that I've looked at plenty. I think his name is Bernard Leno, I think is his name, and he looks really good anyways. I've always tried to pick him up, but he is quite expensive. I think he's, you know, season 1 he goes for around 9 million his value, so that's one of the main reasons why I haven't actually jumped on that bandwagon. And I went for Akinfeev this time. You guys know that I'm not a big fan, but look at that form, you know, his form is almost in that dark green. At the moment it's in light green, but I just don't get it. Why, EA? Why are you mind fucking me? I swear he's playing bad and he concedes these are really poor goals, but whatever. You know, if FIFA's saying he's doing good, then he must be doing good. Like I said, I'm still playing that 4-1-2-1-2 formation, and I had a game coming up, a game against Aston Villa. Aston Villa are a team that I should go up against and I should feel pretty comfortable. I believe they're just one place ahead of me in the league, so winning a game like this would be really, really key. And early on, we managed to string some passes together. As you guys can see, Alan is actually playing instead of Coutinho this game. That's mainly just because of fitness reasons, and also I do want to make sure Alan gets some game time. One player that hasn't been getting too much game time, I might add, is in fact Jonjo Shelvey, aka Voldemort, as some of you guys may know him. He is just not getting the game time that I thought he was going to get, just because I have so many good center midfielders, you know, the likes of Alan, Coutinho, Gerrard, you know, they are just sheer class. But Barini there gets a bit of a P-roller, you know, that seems to sink into the near post goals. Like I was saying in a previous episode, for some strange reason with Liverpool, I scored the weirdest goals, just the most pathetic goals, yet they seem to go in, and I'm not too sure why. And I'm sorry, but that is just bullshit. Like, in the 30th minute, it just bounces, everything goes against me, and somehow Beneteke there gets on the end of it. And fair play to him, you know, he does put it away, but when they score a goal like that, you're just like, how the hell does that work? Anyways, serious business as I bring on Sturridge, and just as I bring him on, literally just as I bring him on, he manages to score there through a header, and he hasn't scored too many headers for this club, so I was really surprised that happened. And then boom, 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 as Saidi there buries it to make it 3-1. I was so happy that happened, especially after that bullshit goal that I conceded a little earlier on. But things are looking good for Liverpool, you know, a 3-1 win over Aston Villa. That means we go ahead of them in the league table, and that is really important. I think we're 6th now, possibly even 5th. You know, we've definitely climbed our way up from the relegation zone, which we were in right at the beginning of the season, if you guys remember correctly, after I think it was a 3-1 loss to, or 2-1 loss to West Brom right at the beginning. We also lost to Arsenal, we lost to Manchester City, we lost to a bunch of teams there, and just really, really important that we kept it all up, and we've really come back this season to do well with some hard early fixtures. We've really picked up points where we've needed to, And like I said, guys, I hope you did all enjoy this video, and if you have, then leaving a like is very much appreciated. Your support is always appreciated. Hope you all have a cracking day, and I hope you have all enjoyed the North London derby today, and I'll see you in a bit. Bye bye.